Hey Ava. How's it going?
Hey Jake. I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?
I'm great. I was actually thinking about something today. Have you ever felt like you can understand English really well, but when it's time to speak, you just freeze?
Oh my gosh, yes. That happens to me all the time. I can listen to podcasts, watch movies, and understand everything. But when I try to talk, it's like my brain forgets English.
You're definitely not alone. So many people struggle with this. But the good news is, there's a way to fix it.
Really? I need to know. Because honestly, it's so frustrating.
Don't worry, we're going to break it all down today. We'll talk about why this happens and, more importantly, how to fix it with some easy and fun.
That sounds perfect. Let's get started.
So, before we talk about solutions, let's understand why this happens. Do you know the difference between passive learning and active learning?
I think so. Passive learning is when you listen or read, but active learning is when you actually use the language.
Exactly. And here's the problem, most learners focus too much on passive learning.
That's totally me. I watch English shows all the time.
That's great, but watching isn't speaking. Think of it like learning to swim. You can watch videos about swimming, but if you never jump into the water, you won't know how to do it.
That's such a good example. So, I need to start jumping into the water with speaking.
Yes. And don't worry, I'll give you practical ways to do that. You know, I had this exact problem when I was learning Spanish. I could understand movies, music, and conversations, but I just couldn't speak.
Oh wow. So, what changed?
I realized that I was just consuming the language. I wasn't practicing producing it. So, I started speaking every day, even when I was alone.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, it felt weird at first, but then it became normal. And after a few months, I could have real conversations.
So, the first step is talking to myself.
Yes. Describe what you're doing in English. Like, if you're making coffee, say, I'm boiling water. Now I'm adding sugar.
Won't that feel strange?
Maybe at first, but your brain will get used to forming sentences. It's like training your mouth to speak.
I've heard of shadowing before. How does it work?
It's simple. You listen to a native speaker and repeat everything they say immediately, copying their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
Like copying actors in movies?
Yes. But don't just say the words, try to sound exactly like them.
That sounds difficult.
It is, but it works. Even if you don't understand every word, your brain gets used to the sounds and patterns of English.
My biggest problem is that I always translate in my head.
That's common, but it slows you down. Instead of thinking, I need to go to the store, in your language first, try forming the thought directly in English.
How do I train my brain to do that?
Start small. When you see something, name it in English, table, car, phone. Then, move to simple thoughts, I'm hungry. It's a nice day.
And that will help me think in English faster.
Yes. The more you practice, the faster your brain will switch to English naturally.
Why recording myself is important?
Because you can hear your mistakes and track your progress. Plus, it makes you more comfortable with your own voice in English.
That makes sense. I always feel weird when I hear my own voice. Everyone does. But the more you do it, the less awkward it feels.
Let's do a practice conversation. Imagine we're at a cafe. I'll be the barista.
Oh, okay.
Welcome. What would you like to order?
I want coffee.
Try saying, I'd like a coffee, please.
I'd like a coffee, please.
Great. Would you like milk or sugar?
Yes.
Say, just a little milk, please.
Just a little milk, please. Yeah, so what's a speaking challenge?
It's when you commit to speaking English every day for a month. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day makes a huge difference.
That sounds interesting.
It builds consistency, which is the key to fluency. And the goal is the more you practice speaking, the easier it gets.
Yeah, so true. Thanks a lot, Jack. It was really so nice to be here with you.
Thanks for you too, Ava. Hope this was useful for you and the listeners.
Of course it was.
If you're listening, what's your biggest challenge with speaking English? Let us know.